everybody, and welcome back to another episode of The Male Perspective. I am your host, Lana Reid, and today, on this day, I have the pleasure of continuing my conversations with the wonderful, amazing men of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. Today, I have the gentleman of Tau chapter out of University, Illinois, Urbana-Champaign. And quickly, in a moment, we will hear about how they are combining college life and the manly deeds of the fraternity. But first and foremost, gentlemen, as I always do, I take a quick moment to pause, say thank you to you for making time for me today. Time is a gift. Once we give it, we can't get it back. So I truly appreciate you guys making time to sit down and talk with me. And with that, gentlemen of the black and gold, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you as well, just for, like I said, reaching out to us, just giving us the opportunity to speak. So I definitely appreciate that as well. We all appreciate it. So
awesome. It is always a pleasure when I see my brothers, especially my younger brothers, doing amazing things. So we're gonna have a good time today. First and foremost, because I didn't know who I was gonna get showing up today, so I'm unprepared in that manner. Could I trouble you guys to take a moment to introduce yourselves and what you guys are majoring in there at the college right now?
All right, I'll go ahead first, Sal. My name is Miles Moore. I am president of Alpha Fraternity Incorporated Tall Chapter. I'm a senior and I'm majoring in chemical and biomolecular engineering.
Well, I'll be darned. Okay, go ahead. And you, sir?
Hello, everybody. Well, my name is Salifu Habib. I'm the secretary of Alpha Fraternity Incorporated Tall Chapter. I'm a senior here at the university as well, studying molecular and cellular biology.
Well, I'll be some very, very smart brothers, okay? All righty. So what are we going to do after college with those degrees? Where will they take you?
Well, you go ahead, sir.
Well, I'm considering grad school, of course. And then also just trying to find an entry-level position at health-oriented organizations.
Okay. And you, Mr. Moore?
I can say I'm probably not going to do an engineering job. I've done a few internships in various areas, supply chain, marketing, just a whole lot of different things. And I can say just the ones in terms of like specifically just strict engineering work is not necessarily what I want to do career-wise. It's a good major in terms of opportunities and just in like the doors it opens up for you from a job availability standpoint. But in terms of like what I actually want to do is definitely going to be more of the business route. And I plan to work a couple of years in some type of industry and then go get my MBA after that. So
awesome. So we'll keep our eyes on you guys and see where we're at in a couple of years. Okay. So as I was getting prepared for today's show, I see that your particular chapter has been around for quite some time, like not too long after Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity was actually founded. So could you run down the brief history when you guys were chartered and all of that?
Yes, so we were chartered Friday, March 23rd, 1917. So we'll be 106 this year on March 23rd. So it's always a big celebration, just people coming back in terms of chapter bros from the past, people reconnecting. So we were the 18th chapter. So fraternity overall was 1906, and then we were 1917. So we were one of the first chapters just ever founded in terms of Alpha. So there's a lot of pride behind it. And like I said, it's a celebration every year because we've been around a very long time. It takes a lot of work to continue to be around consecutively. And we're just trying to maintain that and keep pushing the legacy.
Over 100 before you guys were even thought about.
Yeah.
Before your parents were probably even thought about. Okay. And I saw some very prominent brothers have come out of your chapter. There was one picture on your social media. One of the brothers was standing behind President Joe Biden. What was that event about?
All right, you want to go ahead, Sal?
I think I'm not quite sure.
That was the anti-lynching law.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is a good law, definitely passed. It could have been passed a lot earlier. Yeah. But he was part of the people that definitely pushed for that and got it signed by President Biden. So it was a proud moment. Like I said, we have a long history, a lot of years under our belt. So we definitely have a lot of people in terms of different places making moves politically, financially. yeah, different levels. So like I said, we have a lot of people in different places. So that was just a good moment for us just to see one of our brothers participating at something at that high of a level, sitting behind the president, getting something passed for that mainly impacts Black Americans. So
awesome. You guys are doing some phenomenal work, just generations over and over again. Now, since I have just the two of you today, I have a little bit of time to be nosy here. For you guys individually, was it an experience when you arrived at college, or was it before you got to college where you knew you were going to pursue Alpha?
Well, I can answer this. Let me go ahead and answer this. So for me, I had no idea about Greek life at all. Actually, I didn't know what Greek life was in coming in as a freshman in college, and it was something to like really just research and see for myself and experience on campus. And so when we first got here on campus, Alpha Fraternity Incorporated taught chapter, the members of there, they were doing a lot of programs. Our freshman year, this was right before the time, a couple months before COVID came into existence, ended our semester pretty early. But definitely that fall semester, the members of Top were very active towards like welcoming students on the campus, especially us freshmen. And a good example of that was the iGuides program. They took advantage of getting positions in the iGuides program. And this program is where students, U of I students, will try and help the freshmen move in on campus, either by giving them directions, helping them with their belongings, helping them find, carts, things of that nature, because not everybody's going to know how to navigate on the campus. And so, for Florida Avenue residence halls, Pennsylvania Avenue residence halls is where a majority of African American students would stay at. And so during the move-in days, the members of Tall Chapter would come and also help students move their things and belongings into their rooms and stuff. And so that's one of like the first memories that we had with members of the organization, and that inspired me to also become a part and become a campus coordinator for the iGuides program now, so that members of Tall Chapter can always be involved towards making that initial first like encounter with students to get to know them.
Okay. So it was an experience. And you said I got IGOT. That's what you said?
No, iGuide.
iGuide. Okay, just making sure. My ears are not as sharp. Okay. So it was when you got to campus. And you, Mr. Moore, did you know you were going to be an Alpha before you got to college?
Definitely not. I wasn't planning on being Greek at all in terms of like my experience in college. I was kind of like adverse to it, actually. It was, my mom is a Delta, which is, she has a great relationship with her ships and everything, but I just didn't want to go that route just growing up. I just didn't feel like it was for me, just being like a part of I'm a very like individualistic person. So I just didn't think going into it that would be something that I would pursue in terms of joining a group of other people. So when I got here, I stayed in a predominantly white, well, I can't even say predominantly, like more than predominantly. I was the only Black person on my floor. So it was just pretty much the only white hall over at the Eikenberry in the 6-pack. So that was just an experience for me, just coming from an area where at least half the people are about, Black or either ethnic at some level, and then coming here and then everybody's white. So it was just, like I said, a culture shock for a moment. And then once I got into more involved in the Black community, got to know more people. It's a tight-knit community, I would say. So once I got to know more people, that's when I got to know people in different areas and different organizations, people in Greek life, and that's kind of where it stuck out for me, just in terms of Tall Brothers, what they were doing on campus on a multi-level impact. Like, obviously, fraternities have parties and fun things like that, but also at the same time, they were doing service, they were doing programs that were actually helpful, that were helping me develop. I had bros reach out to me that are my prophytes that helped me get set on a professional level before I even started pursuing Alpha. Helped me with interviews, just like I said, helping me in a lot of different places, just from a positive sense. And then also, like I said, they were leaders on campus as well. The Black men's group for the university, Men of Impact, that's the name of the organization. I'm the president now. Before me, when I was a freshman, my profile was the president as well. So like I said, it's a long string of leadership that TAW has that I recognize. And that's kind of something that resonated with me because like I said, I like to be a leader. I'm very individualistic as well. So that stuck out to me, which is kind of the reason why I didn't want to necessarily in the beginning pursue something like a fraternity, because I'm trying to be such an individual, but at the same time, I'm a leader. And that's kind of like the main aspect of what I say a tall alpha is here on campus, is someone that's a leader, someone that stands out, whether it's organizationally or just the way they carry themselves. So that's something I noticed at a very early stage in my college career. And then I definitely wanted to align myself with that because they were doing great things in and then after college. So that's, when I started getting into learning things and just understanding, the people in chapter, what they were doing, how they were leading, and just like how their journey was before that. So
Alphas are leaders, I will say that. From my years as undergraduate to this age now, you guys are truly leading across the board in every aspect. Just out of curiosity, because I'm sensing and hearing that this is a predominantly white institution, are the rest of the Divine Nine there or no?
We currently, like everybody has been here in the past. Currently, we have 8 out of the 9. The only non-active at the moment in terms of a chapter is Omega Sci-Fi. So
okay, all right, okay, I got you. Now, let me move on to some of the things that I see you guys doing, and I want to. We talked about this before, but I want to let everybody know how you guys are just a small amount of guys doing some phenomenal things. So, how many guys do we have currently at TAW chapter?
Yeah, technically in chapter we have 6 in terms of undergraduate. So.
Okay, so, but I want to let the audience know, don't let the small number fool you. These brothers are holding it down. They're holding it down. So let's get to some of the stuff that you guys are doing there on campus and off campus as well. Now, the first thing I want to do ask you about, and I'm approach this as an old auntie here, like what's this barbershop thing I see y'all got going on?
Oh, that was during TAW week in December. So we call it TAW Fade. So pretty much it's a staple for when we do TAW week, which is just a week of events. I mean, not TAW week, Alpha week, a week of events we normally do around December 4th for our Founders Day. So that's generally just, we normally hire barbers, and then for anybody that wants to come in, whether they're students or not students, they can pretty much get a free haircut from a professional barber just paid by us. So, just to promote self-image, especially in the Black community. So.
Oh, okay. At first I was like, okay, the brothers got side hustles here. Okay, I said, okay, in addition to getting degrees, they cutting their hair. I said, oh, but you guys bring barbers in. Okay, it's coming together. It's coming.
No, we wouldn't mess people up like that.
Well, no, I mean, a lot of times we have to, learn how to do things for ourselves because money is funny in college. So,
Yes. Very.
Amen. So, continuing the tradition of doing amazing and wonderful things that your chapter has done, you guys are, as well following the pack. I saw on your social media a couple of years ago, you guys won like 7 awards at the Greek Oscars or something like that.
Yes.
So is that event kind of central to your university, and what awards did you guys win?
Yeah. Sal, you want to take this one?
Oh, I'm trying to, let me think, because it was a couple of awards when we won the chapter. We had like the best like Founders Week award. That was definitely one that we worked hard to get, because it was a lot of things that went into like even how we were trying to plan for our Founders Week. Let's talk about even building up the hype for it. We tried to do a whole video production thing to build up like the theme. We had like a mafia thing going on. And just of how we were like every Greek, like a lot of Greeks, we play around with this, but we have this whole concept of taking the yard, basically trying to implement a whole bunch of programs for the like the student community, to be able to engage in and get involved with. And so basically we had this whole mafia scheme of doing it, where we had this big meeting and this us trying to decide, okay, what are we going to do? Like basically how we would do it in our regular weekly chapter meetings is how we were trying to frame it. And so we just came up with this mafia style theme. Boom, we're gonna rent out Elevate, a trampoline park, and have students be able to come over there, for a lot amount of time and have fun that way, in that manner. And it actually is proved to be a great event. We just did it again this past year, because we started it last year back in 2021. A very good event. We go as far as to having events like the Millionaire Panel, where we have some of our profiles that, have made a great living for themselves in their professions, coming to talk to students about financial responsibility, some of the, just for any type of question they can ask for, how to get up there pretty much, or make better decisions in their life to get them on the right path towards a successful type of life. Even talking about cryptocurrency, because last year cryptocurrency was always making headlines. It was booming, and so some of our profiles as well have some knowledge on NFTs and cryptocurrency as well. So we had them come and talk to some of the students here on the campus about that. So that was just one of the awards for chapter of the year. And then we had some of our last chapter president, David Munoz, who's working with the Pelicans right now in New Orleans. He also won it was an award towards a Greek member from any type of organization putting on just being outstanding, basically. And so Devin Munoz, he won that because his work as a chapter president last year was pretty phenomenal, with his involvement on campus, aside just from working in Alpha, but in other works as well. And, just even being sort of a voice on campus for students to listen to and take heed from. So I feel like Mr. Moore also now, Miles, he does a great job of implementing and doing the same thing now. So Yep. So we just following the tradition pretty much.
Yeah, I saw Mr. Moore on a news station recently for the Martin Luther King Day of Service. Did I see that correctly?
Yeah, we both were on there actually. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. So everybody, a lot of people participated in Martin Luther King Day of Service across the nation, but particularly in specific, what did your chapter do?
Also,
go ahead, Sal.
I didn't want to take all the questions, but so basically we collaborated with our graduate chapter, the Zeta Xi Lambda chapter of Alpha Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, one of the many graduate chapters, alumni chapters that Alpha offers. And then so we collab with our graduate chapter as well as the Gamma chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated and their grad chapter as well. And what we did was we were in the Eastern Food Bank in Urbana, and we were bagging the oranges and boxing them up for about 2 hours. And we were like, it was like the work that we got, the amount of work that we got done was actually unexpected by the food bank. They didn't expect us to get all of that work done in such a short allotted amount of time. So that really just very motivating on the day of service for Martin Luther King. And then, us being able to explain, what our chapters do and what we're focused on as well was also very motivating for us to be able to, continue doing the work and just having the opportunity to get it broadcasted on the news. So that's just a little bit of the type of service that we try and do, with our grad chapters.
Lifelong, you guys will be at it for lifelong. Now, you mentioned that you partnered with some graduate chapters. Do you guys get a chance to partner with other undergraduate, graduate chapters in your area often, or is that unique?
Yeah, so the main graduate chapter that we partner with in terms of programs is Zeta Xi Lambda. It's our grad chapter essentially for the area. So a lot of Tall brothers are actually part of Zeta Xi Lambda, ones that stayed in the area after college. So there's a lot of Tall in Zeta Xi Lambda, so we have a good connection with them, as well as our graduate advisor for chapter. He comes to our meetings and kind of oversees our events. He's part of that chapter as well. So we have events we have to do every year just in terms of Alpha, like certain 4 different types of programs we have to do to just maintain our status in terms of Alpha.
Okay.
A lot of times we do that with them. They have a lot of food drives. They also do a lot of fundraisers. I say grad chapters, like we do a lot more programs in terms of like quicker programs for students, educational, financial literacy. And then, like I said, we have like social events and shows and things like that on campus. And they do a lot heavier on the community service and the financial end in terms of being able to raise more capital that we're just not able to do because
Yeah.
of college. So, and they have a lot more members because once you are out of college, you can become a grad chapter member. So they have members from 23 until, their 70s. So, like I said, they have a lot more resources. So we make sure we partner with them a lot and they partner with us. And we can get a lot done. Like even through the Martin Luther King Day event, a lot of that came through them. A lot of them showed up as well. So
Awesome. Now, listening to you talk and working with the grad chapters and Mr. Moore, I want to know how that is working out for you, transitioning from being Mr. Individual to being part of the group. Are you working that out?
Oh yeah, I worked it out. I never had a problem with being part of a group. It was never like an issue for me. It's just I didn't want to. I guess I had an image of assimilation in my head when I came to college, in terms of a Greek life perspective, and that's not necessarily what it is. In fact, everybody's an individual, and that's kind of part of what makes us just specifically as a chapter great. Because a lot of chapters will have certain individuals that are kind of similar and a lot of similar type of people. And the diversity in terms of characteristics of our chapter is really what makes us have the ability to span out and do the different types of things we can successfully. Like we have people that, know this or know that, or one person that knows 5,000 people on campus and one person that can put together a financial program. And, it's like I say, it's a group of individuals, especially like us, as even right now, like more than I've seen in the past, just specifically right now, the people we've had over the last year, just in terms of like the team we've had, it's been, we can pretty much do anything we want. We're in every area. We have all the resources. So yeah.
We're better together.
Just have to make use of those resources pretty much, which we try and do every month, every week, trying to at least have, like, especially for this past fall semester, we try to basically implement a program every week. Every week had to be a program. Yeah. And even in what we did this past semester in the fall, having a whole collaboration with Gamma chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, which hasn't really been done in years on our campus. And so we felt like it would bring a breath of like a fresh air to the campus has never seen nothing like that. And I think it would make us happy, the type of collab that we have, because the Gamma chapter of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated as well, they have a lot of resources. They're very solution and goal oriented, always ready to work like we are. So it just made sense for us to just try to collab and get something done. And we really did. We had a whole like Halloween weekly special pretty much for campus. And so that's where the frightful conversation came in, and we even had the whole haunted house thing, and it worked pretty good, us collabing. So definitely set a great standard for us collabing in the future and having the potential to do even greater scale events.
Awesome. Well, let me get into, because I can see now we could talk for a little while here. Let me get into some of the stuff that you guys are doing. I want to kind of let everybody know. One of the things that I saw that you guys had packaged together in this string of events was first vote, where you guys were getting voter education and knowledge around. And I had a thought about that, or something I want to ask you guys. When it comes to college lifestyle, do you find that is there too much going on, or college students kind of engaged and interested in understanding the voting process? I mean, because when I was there, I was like, I got other things to do. So
I would say in terms of like a lot of what we do focuses on the Black community, and I would say just in terms of voting, I would say there's not as much of an emphasis. I'd say from like, university staff and those, they try and emphasize it for us, but just within the actual students, there's not as much of a focus for people to vote or get educated on necessarily who we're voting for, the different types of elections, or what positions they hold, or how that necessarily impacts what actually goes on a governmental and a state scale. So I would say that's kind of why we had that event at the time we had it around voting season. Is just one, because a lot of people aren't registered, especially coming to college. Like I turned 18 while I was in college.
Okay.
So I wasn't at home with my parents who would drive me up to make sure I registered to vote or made sure I did it at home. So that's why we have events here for people who don't have that or they didn't get signed up at homes to sign up in college on their own accord. And then they can become active like voting citizens. So that's part of that event, making sure people know how to register, and then also just kind of like the process of like what a poll looks like, how to fill it out, and just background information as well. So
okay. So is it easy to vote in that area? Is there voting locations close by campus or no?
There's voting locations on campus.
Yeah,
I won't say it's easy.
It's
yeah.
well, what's that voice? It's easy?
Well, honestly, just speaking from my perspective, I have a vehicle, and not a lot of college students, had that luxury of having a vehicle. So with me being able to utilize my vehicle and be able to go register myself to go vote, I think that was back in my sophomore year. I was able to do that because I could drive, but not every college student has the access to do that. So that was one of the many reasons why we even thought of, hey, let's do the voting event now, during that week. And I think it was, although, which is okay that we can't influence the, personal decisions on who to vote for, or what to vote on exactly, just giving people the information and the resource to be able to know how to, utilize their civics, also can help get the job done as well. So, yeah, I appreciate us for doing that, for thinking of doing that.
Very important. I mean, you got to start, like I said, college life is so complicated and complex. There's so many stressors and so many things going on. So it's kind of hard to get people to focus on everything and anything. So it's understandable, but you kind of got to plant that seed. You got to plant that seed. Mm-hmm. Now, another things that you guys put together was Frightful Conversations, and you guys discussed relationships. And as I've said a couple of times, my college days were many decades ago, but I do recall it being interesting when it came to male-female relationships and dynamics. But here we are in 2023. How from a male perspective, because this is the male perspective show, how are relationships and college life in these 2023 days? What's going on with you guys there?
Well, honestly, a lot, like I would say, like, in terms of relationships, I'm not really sure about how it was back then in terms of how it is now. But what I can say for now is that some people, like, relationships are just the same way, is that it's how you make it, pretty much. Mm-hmm. And so some people may alter their motives when it comes to relationships based off of what other people are doing. Maybe it might be peers to impress, or whether it be off of social media to show or to post, or whether it's genuinely wanting something. All of these reasons are pretty much the same reasons for any type of relationship, even back then, so to speak. So I would say, like, honestly, when it comes to like relationships, I would say they haven't diverged much, but I mean, I guess more people, like, I guess with social media having more of a presence in our lives now and the impact, it could definitely alter somebody's mind on how they would frame a relationship to be based off of how somebody else is portraying it to be as, if that makes sense.
A false facade. They want to be like what they see on social media. And half of that stuff is not really genuine and true. Okay.
Right. And so it really just takes for an individual to realize what they're necessarily looking for in another person when it comes to a relationship. And realize what they can also give to that person, how to make yourself better, and to also know what you want. Mm-hmm. And so I guess when we had the Frightful Conversations, what I tried to do, because I was one of the panelist speakers, actually both of us was panelist speakers, and so when it came to answering some of the questions, because I think we did poll questions for the students to ask us, and we bring it up and try and answer it to the best of our knowledge. So when it came to like answer questions, I would try and qualify it. I don't want to necessarily come from like a patriarchal standpoint or anything like that. Mm-hmm. What I wanted, like, what my whole goal when I was being a panelist speaker speaking on relationships, was to give a candid answer, more of a fair answer towards one, how is this relationship going to better you, and how can you better the relationship, as for yourself and for the other person that you're in a relationship with. So I was trying to make it more of a candid type of approach when it came to answering questions. So
all right.
What I would say for that is, I mean, during that conversation, what I try to focus on was like communication in terms of just being open and being able to communicate between the two people. I agree with what Sal said though, also about the social media thing, especially today. It leaves a lot of space for comparison, and comparison leads to a lot of just thinking of what else could be. If you're looking at somebody else, you're looking at somebody else's relationship, you're looking at somebody else's money or whatever it is, or someone who looks more attractive in your opinion than whoever you're with. It's just always a space to compare and think of what else rather than working on what's in front of you. And I think that's a lot of the problem that a lot of people have currently today. I mean, that's why I don't have social media like at all. I don't have Instagram or Twitter or anything. I deleted it. But
well, that's unique for a young person. Well, a younger than me person, I should say. No social media?
No, I really don't have one. I have a Snapchat for like posting in terms of like events and stuff, because that's the easiest way to do that. Like I post alpha events and
it's
impact events, but that's all I do. Like I never post myself. It's just, I just don't see any positive. I think it's bad for the spirit, in my opinion. But just during that conversation, like the main thing I was trying to focus on was just communication, openness between two people, and then like I said, just make sure you appreciate the person you're with. Yeah. So that's the main thing. Just be nice to each other.
Okay, so I hear you talking and it sounds good, but from what you see on campus, is that happening or not?
No.
I mean, it's both. But honestly, it's both. It's both. It's like it's always, but I feel like it's always going to be that. That's why I literally said things haven't really diverged from from the beginning of time when it came to relationships. People are going to act the way they're going to act regardless. You know what I'm saying?
So but social media didn't make it difficult though back in the day.
Did it not? Like
grandma didn't have to look at grandpa's post and say, why'd you like that girl's post 10 times?
Okay, now that's true. That's true. But it was probably another way. Like, I don't want to say like back then social media, like, was it like whatever it was? I would say like there was probably a different form of that. Like, why did you like this person's post? Well, why did you take this for this person back then? if you feel what I'm saying. I would say that it's definitely both. Like, there are some students here that are able to actually keep a healthy type of relationship on campus. And then there are some students that can't.
It's not all social media though, anyways.
Yeah, it's
either.
Not.
But I mean, even on the social media point, like I said, back, I guess you could say in the day, there wasn't like it's just expands your circle. Like social media can connect you with somebody 3 states away that you could talk to, and that just wasn't really happening as much back then. It's like the people you grew up with, or the town you're around, or the people in your vicinity is your pool of selection in terms of who you're going to be with.
Who you gonna date?
And now, if you're with somebody right now, your pool of selection is the entire planet. So if you got thousands more people coming your way in terms of options, and which is a lot of relationships are about is options, it's going to be hard to choose. So
yeah.
And wearing those letters complicates the issue a little bit more too as well, because the ladies love the letters. So
yeah.
Look.
I'm a relationship person. Ask Sal. He's the one with the girls.
Nah, what? Me? Okay, Mr. Chapter President. Let's me. Nah.
Look, I'm gonna dump this on you real quick.
honestly, for us, like especially within our chapter, like most, like we're pretty wholesome guys. I don't like like personally, and I'm pretty sure Miles can attest to this too. Like, none of us is really looking out here to, manipulate. Like, I'm seeing like within our current day and age, when it comes to relationships and stuff, like a lot of people feel manipulated by one another, used. Certain things aren't being met, boundaries are being crossed. Things of that nature. And even though, yes, I'm also invalidating that by saying that this has happened, this is nothing new, this always happens. When it comes to relationships at the beginning of time, that doesn't make it okay. And so, as campus leaders, us being, bros, a part of a tall chapter, and, all eyes being on us when it comes to us, when we post events and stuff for people to come to, we try and also just maintain an image of, doing the same thing when it comes to relationships. So, I mean, I know that me and Miles can attest to this. So,
okay, all right. Let me get you guys out the hot seat. Let me get you guys out the hot seat here real quick. Because I don't know, somebody might look at this later, and some lady that's got her eyes on you might be like, well, you say it. So let me get you guys out the hot seat here. I also saw on your social media, gentlemen, that you guys have incorporated some innovative stuff here. You guys have pop-up shops. What goes on at your pop-up shops?
Okay. I can say that. So pop-up shops, like if we have a event. So for example, we had during Tall Week on the Thursday, Thursday and Friday, I believe.
Yeah, I think
No, that was Friday and Saturday. It was Friday and Saturday. For Access Granted, which is like the biggest show in terms of the Black community, like during the fall semester. It's like all the teams that are like modeling, dancing, singers, dancers. They all perform in our show. So we rent out like the biggest hall on campus, Follinger Hall, and we basically give them a platform to perform. It's a competition. People vote. There's a winner. People come sometimes from different schools or non-university entities, and then they perform. And then, like I said, it's basically a talent show. So it's a really big event. We have like 350 plus people in attendance. So also like the day after that, we had Elevate Lock-In, which is a trampoline park, from like 10 p.m. to 4 in the morning, which we have like 150 people come to. So that's another one that we have to sell tickets to, as well as like the Access Granted. So we have pop-up shops, like we'll say on the pop-up shop flyer title, pop-up shop for Access Granted, Elevate, date, time, location. We'll be here this time to this time on this day, this time to this time on this day. Make sure you come and get your tickets. And then that's kind of how we organize our sales for events like that.
Okay. Now, you guys both mentioned you guys are both seniors. Did I hear that correctly?
Yes.
So also incorporated, and you guys also have to bring in some new alphas. So do we have some younger brothers coming in soon?
Well, I mean, time will tell. Eventually, yeah. We got to pass down the torch, just like our pros pass down the torch to us. So time will tell, who will be a part of our organization, and how they continue to uphold what our organization stands for, and the work that we try and implement on campus and stuff. But for now,
we're just saying that because we can't like give the exact date, just because of like the way fraternity, like exact semesters and stuff. Just because the way the fraternity works, we can't technically like say at this time period. But yeah, for sure, there'll be more people coming.
So let me ask you this: how large is the Black community there at your campus?
I want to say it makes up 4%.
Oh,
I believe we're at 4%.
Okay, so
yeah, I think it's 4%. I know for my program or like engineering, it's like 0.9%, less than 1%, but I think overall it's like 4 or 5, something like that.
Okay. So we got a small pool we're working from in the first place, as it is.
Yeah.
Well, but then it's also like, honestly, like considering like the amount of Black people that we have on campus, like I would say like it's an okay amount. I mean, it's still predominantly white institution but it's U of I at the same time. So there are a decent amount of like Black students that we have, that are able to attend our events. And sometimes, and there's a lot of students that don't know about our events still, and so, that's why we still want to continue to work, still want to get ourselves out there so that more people can get involved with our programs on campus, because we never know how it can affect them.
Okay. So were you gentlemen from that area? Is that why you picked that particular university, or how did you pick that college, that university?
I'm from Chicago suburbs. So it's kind of like, I was going to the engineering program too. So it's kind of it's the top 10 engineering program in the country. So that's kind of my main decision. Also, was in-state tuition rather than out-of-state tuition. So it's like 4 times less than if I was to go private school or to a different state. So it was just a good choice financially and just in terms of the program I was going into. So
yeah, U of I offered a lot of financial ease. Definitely with like President's Awards and the tuition, and then also like me having some additional scholarships to help out with that. And then also the close proximity towards home, because I'm from Chicago, the south side of Chicago, on 79th. So, it's not really a hassle for us to get back home, when it comes to family and stuff. And I mean, honestly, it was a good choice. A lot of my family members have gone to this school.
Okay.
So when it came to like thinking about colleges, like I did apply to other places, but I already knew that I was going to end up coming to U of I anyway. So I was very comfortable with my decision.
Okay, awesome. Now we've talked about what you guys do on campus, and we got a little peek that we might have some younger ones coming along, and I don't think a lot of outsiders looking in don't understand that in itself takes a lot of time to produce the next line. That is a very time-consuming thing. So you guys got a lot of stuff going on here, but you guys still, in addition to that, do work off campus, community work off campus. What are some of the things that you've done over the years off campus in community service?
Go ahead.
No, you got it.
Well, so definitely. So last year when we had a Tall Week, we had the opportunity to work with our graduate chapter at the Boys and Girls Club, where we were doing a lot of recreational sports.
Okay.
And that's just one of the many things that we do when it comes to like the schools. For example, I remember like earlier, Miles had brought up some of the mandatory programs that we have to, do whether it be on campus or off campus. And one of the programs that we did last year is coming up again soon for us to do this year. It's called Project Alpha, where we went to one of the high schools here, and we were talking about sexual health and education to some of the high schoolers here. Mainly the male students, actually. And so, we were just talking about, information and knowledge when it comes to, relationships, and, when it comes to, having sex and making those right decisions for your health and stuff like that. Just, making yourself conscious of what to do. For high schoolers, because I mean, there's teen pregnancy that occurs, and so we're making teenagers aware of that as well. And just trying to be that big brother for some of the kids out here, because it's not like like when I see Champaign and Urbana, it's not a place that we grew up in. We grew up in Chicago, but just looking at the kids that grow up here, we want to help try and foster something good for them to grow up on.
Right.
Yeah, and we also do work with, like he said, a lot with children, but we also do work with sometimes like the homeless shelter, like we did last semester.
Okay.
So me and my neos will make bags and have toothbrushes, soap, water, things like that, and we'll deliver it to the homeless shelter. We did that last semester. We also do like cleanups, like park cleanups, area cleanups, just in terms of like littering. So we do try to keep a variety of things. And then sometimes just in terms of service, we'll do like awareness, kind of just whether it's like alcohol or sexual assault, just things like that. That's not necessarily like community service outside of campus, but just something that brings attention to certain topics that are important. We have an annual powder puff game for breast cancer. So we raise money for that. And then we have teams of girls do a powder puff game, which we coach for like a month and a half, which is a lot of effort. But yeah, we try to, yeah.
It's a lot because you even brought it up that college students have so many things that they have to do. And so imagine, even after class, some students are getting out as late as 5 or 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then having to, try and go to a practice, every day to practice for a big game, for fundraising and stuff. Like it's a lot of time commitment and, a lot of effort on both sides with the girls and with the members of Tall. So, but we do it.
Y'all make it happen.
Yeah.
Y'all make it happen. Well, brothers, I have, I think, 2 more questions I want to ask you before I ask my random question. Maybe 3 more questions. My first question is, who played Steve Harvey on Family Feud? Who was the brother that played Steve Harvey?
That was me.
Okay. All right.
Oh my goodness. You so fired.
I ain't mad at you.
Look, it was the I gave what I said that it was for fall semester, like we were really, pushing events every week. And, with the whole Steve Harvey thing that happened when we was doing our collaboration fam week with the AKAs here on our campus. And, some of my friends are, a part of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. And so they helped me, get the whole Steve gimmick image look going on for the event. And, honestly, we did it because that was a lot. That was a lot to put into 1 week. And the whole Steve look took like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It took 30 minutes to an hour.
Well, now that I hear that there's only 6 of you, and I was, like I said, I was going through social media to prepare for today, and now that I know there's only 6 of you, and seeing that the work that you guys do manage to produce, I mean, just kudos, because it ain't easy.
It's not easy.
I mean, you got college, I don't know if anybody's working, it's just, so I mean, just hand claps to you that you guys are actually making this happen. So.
We appreciate that.
One more question, one more fun question before I ask a serious question. Auntie Lana has frequent flyer points on her credit card, so she might want to fly up there from time to time. But I'm gonna pick my time, and that time would be, when would I be able to purchase some more of these pies to have this? Because I saw y'all taking some pies to the face.
That's like a fundraiser we do. So normally we do it in the fall. So next time we would probably do it in the fall. So it probably won't be during the week. So it'll probably just be something we do normally at the beginning. Like living in Illinois, we have like a certain amount of time period to do certain things that are outside.
Before the weather changes.
Yeah. So like literally our time span to do stuff like that is like between August and September, or like May. So we'll probably August, September time period, because once it gets
cold,
it's normally too cold. So
okay, I got you. All right. I was like,
we got lucky. We honestly got lucky last year doing it in March. It was still a bit chilly.
Okay, I was like, they took one for the team. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let me ask you a serious question before I ask you my random question. You guys have been at this college lifestyle for a minute. So if you guys had to, sit down and have a conversation with some graduating high school seniors, or maybe some incoming freshmen, and you had to give them some advice on how to manage college life and get the best out of the experience, what tips would you give them?
Definitely asking, because like just now, like in our senior year, there's some like programs that the school offers that we're just now becoming aware of. And so I can't imagine like how many students, end up graduating here without being able to utilize some of the programs that actually would have probably helped them in their academic career. Me, for example, I just joined DRES, which is like a disability school, because, I have like a chronic illness with my stomach. And, it started to affect my performance a little bit last year, with trying to study for exams, like in chemistry, biology, physics, and then also trying to maintain, my volunteer role on campus, trying to be a leader within Alpha, and then also in other programs as well, trying to help things get going. So it started to take a little bit of a toll on my health. And, I had to end up requesting, to become a part of the disability school, which I got, and it's definitely helped me when it comes to like getting extra time when it comes to exams and then trying to get prepared. And so I'm only bringing that up so that, we know that there's a lot of programs that students may not be able to, get into that will help them in terms of like benefiting them in their academic career. So when it comes to college students, incoming college students and high school seniors, I would say definitely like when they have workshops, a lot of these workshops will talk about some of the programs that the school offers. So, and then also in the beginning week of like school for freshmen, there are some programs that the school wants freshmen to go to, and like certain videos for us to watch. And so I would definitely say like pay attention to those things, because they definitely highlight some of the programs that the school offers, like especially like OMSA and stuff. Like a lot of people actually don't know about OMSA. And so that's why some of our brothers in our chapter actually working for OMSA. One of them was the president, and he was working solely so that students that look like him, would know more and become more aware about what the programs and stuff that OMSA, like stuff that programs like OMSA that the school offers and what they can give to students. So definitely,
Awesome.
definitely that.
And you, President, Mr. Moore?
That's a lot. So let me think. Just in terms of things I would either say that I did right or would change. One would be just in terms of professional sense, make sure you like go to career fairs and take advantage of things like that. That was a good opportunity for me. I got my first internship like 2 weeks after I showed up in college when I was like 18. And that set me up pretty good from a career standpoint in terms of knowing what I didn't want to do and what I did want to do, and then looking for other options from there. So just on a professional standpoint, I would say there's a lot of options at University of Illinois or just any college. So make sure you take advantage of those from a career standpoint. And then in terms of overall, I would just say don't waste your time. There's only a certain amount of hours in a day. You can get caught up. That's the main reason I delete like a lot of my social medias and stuff too, because you could just spend time and hours just sitting and looking at other people.
Hanging out in the yard.
Yeah. just
TikTok.
Just
Especially TikTok. I see a lot of our peers, a lot of our friends will be attached to their phones for like hours looking at TikTok videos, and it's like, yes, entertainment.
Yeah, and now I can't even do it. Like it makes me sick now because just like I could just be doing so many other things. So that's one thing, is just like don't waste your time, set a schedule, stick to your schedule, make lists. And then also another part is just make sure you network and get to know as many people as possible. That doesn't mean like you have to go out and party and do a whole lot of other things, but if that's not you, but it's making sure you get to know people, build relationships, because that's kind of the main thing. A lot of times you're building college relationships. Even like that comes in handy now. If we're doing alpha stuff, we need to schedule a room or make a reservation, have somebody, some organization reach out to them. It's way easier to call somebody or text somebody rather than send an email and wait 3 to 5 days for a response to something like that. So making connections and getting to know as many people as possible, and then also get involved, because like I said, this is a reflection of life. You're gonna have work, you're gonna have other responsibilities. So make sure you, like I said, don't waste your time. Make sure you max out on the things you can do, responsibilities, leadership roles, professional things. Don't overwhelm yourself depending on your limits, but make sure you do the most that you can, like, because it's only a certain amount of time.
Yes, indeed. And we're trying to get to the end goal. We can't get
Well, I have like one more advice tip too. Definitely get acquainted with professors as well, because some professors like that's also another, that's basically piggybacking off of networking. Not only networking with people that are similar to you in age, but networking with your professors, because you never know how that can help you in terms of when it comes to pursuing higher education, like PhD programs and graduate school. You need recommendation letters for that. Even if you're in, fields of science where they may require you to do research, like I'm doing research hours for about a year now, under a graduate mentor and a professor. And so a lot of students have to be required for that, especially in STEM related majors. And so the only way that some students can get that is through connection. Does that professor know you well enough to attest to your character, and how you perform academically, and how is the student oriented and stuff like that? So that's kind of important to get connected with some of your professors. You never know, a lot of professors, especially here at U of I, when it comes to STEM related fields, are a part of a lot of greater scale projects and stuff like that, and a lot of them are accredited as well. So it definitely helps to get recommended by people with that standard.
Awesome. Well, brothers, I am so impressed, not only, for you guys being men of Alpha Phi Alpha, but, in your individual own unique right, you just are just phenomenal men. And I am truly expecting, to peak in about 10 years, 15 years from now, and seeing some wonderful things. And maybe 20, 30 years from now, somebody might be some high prominent members of Alpha Phi Alpha, so I'm gonna keep my eye open and look. But I'm going to ask you guys my random question, and then I'm going to ask you to tell me what your social media handles are, Mr. Moore, so that if somebody wants to check you guys out, you know, and see what you guys are up to, they can do that. So let me ask the random question here. Let's see what we've got. Oh, college lifestyle. Let's see how this plays out. What's the one thing you always procrastinate on?
For me, it's lab reports. I hate writing lab reports. It really just hurts me to write them. I just don't like them. I don't know, because my labs are so long. I have like 4-hour labs every week, and the lab reports are like 12 pages, and it's normally not stuff that like really interests me. So it's just really very painful to write. But yeah.
4 hours?
Yeah.
12 pages?
Something about that. Yeah.
Bless you, my child. Woo, wait. I mean, you guys have probably managed to make like 36 hours in a 24-hour day. I mean, between college life, you guys are working as well?
He has a job. I don't.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I'm currently getting another job because I was unemployed for a little bit. But yeah, I have a job. I'm going to be working at the Park District with some children. And looking forward to seeing how that goes, trying to be able to have more of a direct approach towards influencing some of the young people, some of the youth lives here on campus, and, you know, showing them that alpha way, basically.
Well, answer the question, sir. What do you procrastinate on?
So what I probably procrastinate on, honestly, I would say emails, definitely. Because sometimes I get a lot, because Miles even talked about this too. He said even being connected with the campus on so many levels. And so I would say I pride myself in being connected as a social butterfly with a lot of people, whether they be professors, students, me emailing my academic advisor so many times. I don't know, like I have to get myself, I don't take too long to respond, but I have to get myself in that mode where, okay, I got to respond to this person. Okay, I need to talk to this person about this. I need to let this person aware of this. I need to talk to this professor about this. Sometimes that happens on some, like, throughout the week. And so I just have to just put my like really lock in and you know, respond. But I don't take that long. It's not too bad. Not too bad.
We ain't got to wait for you for 6 months, huh? Well, gentlemen, from Auntie Lana, I cannot say it enough. I'm so proud. I'm so impressed. I'm pretty sure you get a lot of pats on the back, but you know, you've got another one coming from me. I'm just so proud of you guys, and keep it up. And I'm expecting good things. And like I said, the next time I'm out that way, I'll have my well, you guys are talking about cryptocurrency and all that stuff. I don't know if I have to buy me a pie or anything. Are we at that point now in college where we're paying for books and classes with cryptocurrency, or no?
No, we not there.
No.
Oh, okay. I just was wondering. Okay. All righty. But yeah, I'm just expecting to see nothing but onward and upward from you guys. Okay.
Definitely.
Awesome. Thank you guys for making time for me. That is all for this week's episode of The Male Perspective. I'm your host, Lana Reid, and I will see everybody next time.